Hmm. Hello, good morning. I hope that I'm live. Nice to see you. It's Keith. It's Tuesday. It's IELTS Speaking Success. And today we're going to be talking about the topic of globalization. So, welcome everybody. Now, I today to let everybody know it's a beautiful day. Sun is shining over here. It looks like the summer is on its way. Today, we're going to look at the topic of globalization and how we can discuss that in some part 3 questions. Now, then, to let you know, I am actually using some different software today. And so please do expect total disaster. Everything may go completely wrong. The reason is I'm trying to find a better software where I can do different things, including showing you my notes and still see me at the same time. But I can't control everything. There's the streaming of the comments is a bit different. It might go belly up, but not to worry. First of all, let's just say hello to a few of you that are arriving. So, good morning to Jojo, Catherine, nice to see you, Savita, Nitu, brilliant, Nihad, Richa, Nicole, Aman, Abilasha. Great, some of the same people every day, and I love it. Nitu, nice to see you as well. Insasula, Kaila, Malika, Malika. Great, Deniz, Zulfiye, great. Some very familiar names. Lovely to see you all. Kriska, hello. Sharifa as well. And Mira. Brilliant. Now then, I'm going to try and work out. I like that idiom, belly up. Me too. Everything might go belly up today, and you have to do that when you say it. Great. Catherine Sharapova, good morning to you as well. Nice to see you. I don't know if you can see all these things on the screen, like your comments. I don't know if you can see them. All these other things, I don't want that either. It's giving me all these different things. Anyway, let's get down to business. So, first of all, as we begin, can I just say a big, big thank you to some new donors who have helped sponsor really this class and the YouTube videos. It's a big, big help. Thank you very much to Jean-Claude, Kriska, Navdeep, Christina, and Yen and Ran. Thank you very much. It's a huge help. So I really do appreciate all your support. Brilliant. So today, as I mentioned, we are going to look at the topic of globalization and what does that mean exactly. A few other things. I've got a couple of questions students have asked me. I'm going to give you an answer. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Thursday as well. Right. So, first question. I had a question the other day by a student who said, how do I generate lots of ideas in part 2 of the speaking test? Because I find that very, very difficult. Okay, so there are 2 things here. I think the first thing is you want to generate as many ideas as you can before the test. So when you're practicing at home and studying, that's the time to generate lots of ideas, to look at the questions, find the most recent questions, and then study those topics. And to be honest, exactly what we're doing in our live classes, right? Taking a topic and we're looking at answers, ideas, vocabulary. So really, and you've got all of these classes in the Facebook page and YouTube page. You can go back and watch them again and again. You can download the notes. So get all your ideas before the test. What you do not want to do is in your 1 minute preparation, think, right, let's get lots of ideas. Because, oh, I can talk about this, I can talk about that. Oh, there's this idea. Oh, and then this one, and start braining your ideas. Do not do that, because that will waste your 1 minute, right? Don't do that. In your 1 minute, you get the first idea that's good enough as quickly as possible. Just get the first idea. That's okay. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. Boom. And start with that within 10 to 15 seconds. So you've still got 45 seconds to think about structure and maybe some vocabulary, right? Don't waste your minute brainstorming ideas. That's not the time. Do that before the test. Okay, that's it. Simple answer, simple question, nice question. You may have noticed, I'm going to start doing very, very short videos answering student questions and just put them on Facebook and Instagram. Hey, did you know I'm on Instagram? Ooh, how modern. Ooh, how trendy. A guy like me on Instagram, it's very, very funny because lots of young people say, oh, Facebook is for old people. And that's where I'm very at home. Instagram is for young people. Ooh, what am I doing there? Well, I'm trying to learn how to use it because some students have asked me, come on to Instagram. So I'm on Instagram. So I will also put these short videos on there. So if you have any questions for me, email, put them in the chat box, just send me the questions and I will try to answer the most common ones in a very short video. And then you can watch it again. You've probably had enough of me, all these videos. Like, go away. Right. Times for good mornings again. There's lots of good mornings. Right. And here, Abul Qasim Kataib has asked me the second question that other students have asked me is where can we find the most recent topics and questions? Okay, there are two very good website pages which I recommend for the most recent topics and questions. One is IELTS Liz, recent topics and questions. The other one is IELTS Speaking Success, recent topics and questions, because I think that's where you'll get the best information. Those, shall I put the link? Those sites are updated or being updated. So basically the way that Liz works and I work, and also I know Makar from India, that she works, is to gather questions from students who've done the test, get the questions together, check them with other sources, make sure they're right, and then publish them. And that's what we're all doing. But we haven't got the May, June, July, August questions yet completely. I've got a few ideas. So actually on Thursday, the day after tomorrow, I am going to look at some of these questions, the new questions that come up. And then we'll publish them and make some videos and things. I think the good news is that from what I can see, a lot of the questions from January to April are the same, right? So if you're studying and have studied the January, February, March questions, you're okay, because a lot of them are still there. There's one or two have dropped out, but it seems that most of them are still there. Right. Okay, good. That was my second question. So where is everybody? Let's just check. Good morning, Terence. Good morning. Do we need to use a lot of idioms in ours? Oh, good. So I won't answer these questions now, but I will make a note of them later. Brilliant. Some very good ones. Makar is great. Makar is great. I love the work she does. I think she's very, very good. Hello from Punjab. Niha. Nice to see you. Niha is the name, as opposed to Ni Hao, which would be if you were in China. Bruce Gao, welcome to the first time. Nice to see you here. Glad to see that you're here. I hope you enjoy the class. So, as I said, socks off means, right, good questions. Let me try and close. Oh, Mary's here. Hello, Mary. Nice to see you. I'm just going to close that for a moment. And let's have a look at some of the questions we're going to look at today. Okay. Now then, let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Hooray! Look at that. It worked. Hey. So this is what I've been trying to do, is just so I can see. I think I can see you. You can see me. Duh. And we can see the questions. Part 3 questions. So we're going to look at these today. My voice is what? Is it going away? Oh, it's stirring. Where is ginger honey? Tea. It's here, guys. Now then, so these are the 3 questions we'll look at today in a bit of detail. Don't write your answers yet. How has globalization affected your city? Nice. What do you think about the effect of globalization on business? Tricky. What are the advantages and disadvantages of globalization? Complex, but lots of things to talk about, right? So these are the questions we're going to have a look at today. Nice. Now, has anybody seen the video that I put on Facebook? Only if you're on Facebook, I'm afraid. That video was about globalization. It was, I thought, a really down-to-earth, simple explanation of globalization, right? And it reminded me of something called ELI5. ELI5. Does anybody know what ELI5 is? Right? ELI5? ELI5. Yes, some of you saw the video. Fantastic. Yeah, I can hear the message notification. That is so annoying, isn't it? How do we turn that off, for goodness sake? That is so annoying. It's going ding, ding, ding. Let me try and find out. I told you there's going to be lots of things going wrong today. Guarantee. But that's great. It's great. All these, as I said to a student yesterday, mistakes are like a gift. It's like a present. Think of a mistake like your birthday, because you learn. If you don't make mistakes, how are you going to learn? How are you going to get better? Yeah, you need to make mistakes, right? So they are good. So we'll have lots of mistakes today. And somebody I just saw gave me the answer. Explain like I am 5. Han trong bao. Very good. Very good. Explain like I am 5. So this came, well done. This came from a Reddit subgroup. Reddit is a forum where people exchange ideas, and they had a group called ELI5. Explain like I'm 5 means explain this idea and imagine I am 5 years old, right? So basically, use simple language. Right? Explain like I'm 5. Oh, so it's really easy. It's ELI5, right? It is quite a well-known idea, if you like. ELI5, I5 then is, I'll type it out for you. Explain like I'm 5. And there's the link to the Reddit, actually, which you can go and have a look at. So any topic you want to understand in simple language, you can just do that. Explain like I'm 5 years old. That's the idea. 5 years old. Great. And it's great. So really simple things. You can check out the this link here. And then, so what is globalization? Well, in that video, I thought it was very much ELI5. I thought it was explained it really simply. And I took away, not this one, I took away this definition. Very simple. What is globalization? The growing interaction between people and companies across the world. That's for a 5-year-old, right? I think a 5-year-old can understand maybe interaction. The growing connection between people across the world. That's all it is. There's a lot more to it. It's a lot more complicated about trade, transport, movement, communication. But explain like I'm 5, it's like there, right? Brilliant. There's more to it. And I think the follow-up is, so why has it happened, right? Why has globalization happened? And basically, it's happened because of advances in transport and technology. Actually, globalization is really old. It's not new. We've had globalization for donkey's years. Go back to the Silk Road or before the Silk Road. Do you remember the Silk Road? People like Marco Polo, and they traveled from the kind of the Persia across to Asia, selling and buying and trade. That was globalization thousands of years ago. What's happened recently is because of advances in transport, it's just sped up. Speed, sped, sped, sped. It's just sped up. It's got faster, right? And especially not only aeroplanes, but that's definitely one of the big things that made it faster. High-speed rail. But do you know what the number one change in transport made the biggest impact? It was the boat and the container. So as soon as they created the boats and these big, big containers, that's when international trade took off. It literally didn't take off, but it got bigger. It grew bigger because these big containers that they were shipping around the world started the whole big move towards globalization today as we know it. Great. So, guys, you've got some great... Now, can I take your comments? Oh, look at that. I can take your comments. Increased interaction. Increase interaction. Great. And I still can't work out how to stop that boom, boom. It's so annoying. Actually, it's become a bit like the rain. Drop, drip, drop. Well, interesting. Let me share a few of these comments. I hope you don't mind me sharing your comments. But Dennis says globalization means there is no meaning of time and place anymore. How do I get rid of this one? Hang on a minute. I don't want this. Okay. Globalization means, with an S, means there is no meaning of time and place. That's interesting because what? Because it's all become one, right? We're all so similar and standardized. Let's see what else we've got. We have a nice one here from Mary. Globalization has an enormous impact on the world, and has modified the lifestyle of people, business models, and global tourism. Right. So lifestyle, business models, tourism. Those are three really good ideas, and we're going to look at those a little bit more today. Nice. What else have we got up here? Yeah, here's a nice one we can talk about from Emmy. The internet is a major contributor to globalization. Absolutely, it is indeed. Yes. And Tim Mann, nice one over here. Globalization has created a global village. And that, when we talk about culture and lifestyle, is really good. Great. Very nice. We've also got Muzamil Fatima, the improvement in trade and transport. So we have had a change in both trade and transport. Very, very true. It's the Silk Road, not the Silver Road, the Silk Road. Let me share this one with you. Somebody mentioned the Silk Road. The Silver Road, it's this one. So it's as old as the hills. When something is very, very old, it's as old as the hills, right? Not somebody, that would be a bit insulting, but for something, you can say, oh, it's as old as the hills, right? Globalization, it's as old as the hills. People fighting and war, it's as old as the hills. Men and women hunting, or men hunting animals, it's as old as the hills. It's as, and notice the stress, right? It's not it's as old as the hills. No, it's as old as the hills. D, 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 D. It's as old as the hills. It's the time stress. if you saw my video, well done if you did, about part 2 evaluation, we looked at time stressed, which English is time stressed. It's not syllable stress. Many languages focus on every syllable, right? So many people say, it's as old as the hills. English is not like that. English is, it's as old as the hills. Old hills. It's as old as the hills. It dates back to the Silk Road and even before. Right? So that's it, the Silk Road. Great. What else have we got? Nice ideas here. The Silk Road went through Uzbekistan, and I suppose, Alisher, that you're from Uzbekistan, right? I'm supposing. Now, let me share again some very nice comments and ideas. So, some great ideas here to share. Globalization is like all the countries are one. Yes, yes, good. Shipping is a key word from Shiny Michael. So, shipping, and I would add, I'm going to add a few words, containers or shipping containers, right? So, your shipping containers down here are what made the big difference, because that allowed us to transport things. Great. Great. Fantastic. Where are we? Got your message there, Hawar. Thank you very much for that message. Great. Now then, Sanaz brings in a very, very good point here, right? That the environment, the environmental issues need to be considered in globalization, because one of the key things of globalization is the impact it has on everything, the environment. So actually, that brings us to our next question in a moment. Let me just share a few more phrases. I like these very, very much. Rawiya says, globalization is due to the advance of technology. Very, very true. Absolutely. Yes. Right. Jazz, you've got some nice ideas here. Let's bring these in as well. Jazz says, well, globalization has changed the whole scenario of the world. The whole scenario of the world. Nice. Like in my city, whole structures and ways of working. So remember talking generally, structures, generally in the plural, and ways of working have been changed. Lovely, lovely. Now I can see high-rise buildings even in my hometown. Right, high-rise buildings, yeah. And that, although it's not directly connected to globalization, it probably is. I think it's China that exports 40% of the world's concrete. 40% of the world's concrete comes from China, and that is exported to other countries, and we use concrete to build our high-rise buildings, right? Exactly. So, very nice point, yeah, Jazz? Great, lovely. Yes, Maddi, you made a very good point there about globalization and health as well, and the coronavirus. Also, it means not only do we transport goods very quickly, we transport sickness very quickly. It's very, very true. Now then, Niha, excuse me. Niha says here, as far as I think, oh, not as far as I think, as far as I can see, right? As far as I can see, globalization is vital for the evolution, the economic evolution, I would say, the economic evolution of different nations. Yes, because we're all interconnected, right? So, absolutely, I think it's absolutely necessary. Absolutely true. How do we, yes. Okay, before I move on, how do we get rid of that annoying bleep, 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 bleep? I know, I know. So bear with me. Let's have a look. Oh, no. There's nothing there about it. Nothing there. I will have to find it out later. Really sorry. I know it's annoying, isn't it? Oh dear. It's like there's somebody sat next to me going like this, boom, boom, boom. Right. Global village. Okay, brilliant. So next question, right? Effects of globalization. So what are the effects of globalization? They affect everything, right? You're going to get lots of ideas. And as you're writing your ideas, yep. Oh, great. In fact, let me look at you before I look at me, because you've got some nice ideas here. Ali Shir, who I'm guessing is from Uzbekistan. Globalization is the flow of employees. Right. We outsource goods and we outsource people, right? Outsource is a good word. But we're also outsourcing jobs, which is what America has done, and England, actually. And as the video in Facebook told you, with good and bad consequences, right? Effects. Loss of cultural identity. Oh, Susan, very nice. Cultural convergence. Very, very nice. These are nice expressions, right? Let's have a look. Or let's see, where can I make some notes just before I can write them here. Cultural convergence, that's very nice. So convergence is all of you becoming the same. All of you. I don't mean all of you, all of us. Becoming culturally the same, right? We like the same kind of cinema, the same songs. It's interesting, right? Things. This is a a long story, but stay with me. Cultural convergence. One of the big cultural convergences was reality TV. Things like Britain's Got Talent, The X Factor, Big Brother. All of those got transported or moved across the world, and each country had their own Got Talent or X Factor, right? Or The Voice. But in many countries, it was localized significantly. And I think particularly in Saudi Arabia and a lot of the Middle East countries, they had their own version of these shows. And I can't remember the name of the show, but where they would have people reading poetry, playing local music, traditional music. So rather than imitating Maria Carey or Ariadna Grande, they were using this idea of watching reality shows, talent shows, but localizing it to show off and grow the local culture. So all of the local poetry and classical traditional music was coming out in this show. That was brilliant. I mean, so that was preserving local culture, actually, and using globalization to preserve it. Very interesting, right? Okay, great. Kenneth, this is interesting, right? A wide array of international interactions and camaraderie. Camaraderie is like when you're friends or friendliness or being friends together. Nice, very interesting, great. And what else have we got? Change in the lifestyle, yes. Other effects, yes. Okay, Apurva, good one. Increased job opportunities, absolutely. Yes, nice one. So Ankit, currency fluctuation, right? As now most currencies are pegged to the dollar, then they are connected and fluctuations impact other currencies. If you're a speculator and an investor, you can make money from it. Otherwise, it can be a good and a bad thing, right? As Laure says here, very good point, right? Globalization is making some people richer and some other people poorer. Great. More impacts, more impacts. It's evolved the way that we work. Yeah, absolutely. So I used to work for the British Council over in China and Malaysia, and we would, being an international organization, You've got more and more multinational organizations. So we would be having teleconferences. Teleconferences. How old am I? That's so old fashioned. We were sending smoke signals, right? I'm not that old, but we were using not Telegram teleconferences, video conferences. Yep, with Instagram. We were using video conferences across the world with the UK mainly because the headquarters were in London. Globalisation impacted that. It meant sometimes at 3 a.m. I had to wake up for a bloody video conference with somebody in London. Excuse my French, sorry, excuse my language. But yes, so it can be a good and a bad thing. Great. Others, Kriska, great. Lower price on goods, work opportunities for depressed countries. Now, depressed countries, this is interesting. By depressed, I suppose you mean countries that are still developing or not as rich as other countries, right? I think that's what you mean. And there are different expressions around this. Let me share this with you. A few of you have mentioned this. Let me just take that off here. When we talk about different countries, years ago we had this stupid, crazy terminology, and we used to talk about the first world and the third world. And the poorer countries were the third world, and the richer countries like Japan, America, France were the first world. The idea that, of course, we were better, or the first world was better at a higher position, that is no longer really accepted. I think we've realized, at least in English, that's not the way to talk. So now, if you want to talk about that difference between rich countries and poor countries, we often say, developed countries or developed economies, right? You can say both, developed countries or economies. Economies, right? Get the stress right, because a lot of this is a complicated word that changes stress, right? You talk about the economy, but economical. So it changes as an adjective. Developed economies will be the, if you like, richer countries. And then rather than underdeveloped, we talk about developing economies and emerging economies. So the emerging economies, people often talk about the BRICS nowadays, right? Brazil, Russia, India, Colombia, and the BRICS, I've forgotten. Spain? No, it's not Spain. And there are several different acronyms to talk about emerging economies as they are getting stronger and stronger. So, sorry, it doesn't mean poor. It means getting stronger and getting bigger. So, the other vocabulary point I was going to point out, because a lot of you are talking about global, is global has lots of collocations, right? I'm a huge fan of collocations. Every time you learn a word, learn the collocation. That's the word that goes together before or after. So don't just learn trade. Learn global trade, international trade, foreign trade. Learn the words that go together. Same with global trade, global economy, global village. We've had that. A few people have said that. Global warming also. Phew, it's so hot today. It must be global warming. Global governance, right? Global cooperation. If you're going to talk about, the UN, the United Nations, bringing countries together to cooperate. Global cooperation, international cooperation. And while I'm here, a couple more. Standard of living. You can say living standards, but we often say standard of living, cost of living, or prosperity. Prosperity is wealth, basically, wealth. The prosperity of a country. So we don't really say a country is rich. You can, but we talk about prosperity of a country. Yes, I'm laughing at the comments about the click, tick, tick, tick. I'm going to write and complain to this software company that we had hundreds of people with headaches because of the comment click, click, click. Right, excellent. Now then, let's see, what else have we got? Other impacts of globalization. Hey, great, Chatira. This is the question I was going to look at about affecting your town. Globalization immensely affected and changed my whole town. Many local businesses have disappeared, owing to globalization. Nice. Because people are more attracted and prefer to buy products from abroad. Now that's interesting. That's very, very true. The impact of globalization. We're buying more products from abroad, and so our home-produced goods are less popular. So it can impact the local economy for sure, to some extent, for sure. Yes. Now then, okay, some good points. Let's have one more. Globalization affects competition between countries and is supposed to drive prices down. Well, the more competition, theoretically, yes, you drive prices down. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes happens. Absolutely. Oh, look, can I change your comment? Hey, look at that. I can change your comment. Hey, which means, oh, look at that. Does it work? Whoa. Oh, I suddenly like this software. Globalization affects competition between countries and is supposed... That means I can correct your writing on stage, live. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. So, it's not going too badly belly up, is it? Right, globalization. William says, actually, I'm in two minds about it. Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, true. I think you need to go to the configuration of the Facebook. Well, yeah, but it's gone through a different. It's gone through Restream. It's not Facebook. It's another thing. Right. Okay. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a picture talking about the effect of globalization. And as you look at this picture, right, what you can do is look carefully at the picture, and as you're looking and enjoying the picture and thinking about it, I'm going to try and find this, can I say bloody, yes, this bloody comment notification thing. Right, here's a picture. Have a look at this. The effects of globalization, right? Different effects. Have a look. Have a think. Mm-hmm. Oh, found it. Make a comment. Somebody make a comment. Oh, hallelujah. I found it. I turned it off. It's it. It's gone. Oh, silence, peace, zen. Brilliant. Whoa, that is such a relief. So, it's like listening to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. It's just beauty, the beauty of silence. Oh, great. Thank you very much. Yeah. I bet you're all missing it now. Where's that noise? It's lonely without it. Okay, effects of globalization. So clearly there are four things, right? At least there's economic effects. We've talked about global money markets. So in fact, you've talked about the connection or interconnection of the currencies, right? Transnational corporations is another name for multinational companies. So your Googles, your GlaxoSmithKline, your Facebooks, your Alibabas, your Lenovo, all of these, Samsung, all of these international companies. So you've got social, right? So globalization affects also the growth of online social networks. I mean, look at us, right? Facebook and YouTube and maybe Periscope. We've got all sorts of networks here bringing us together, which includes education we can talk about. There's also the migrant families and the diaspora. So the diaspora, is the movement of families from one country to another country. The movement of, well, you've got migration of families from many countries, for example, from Vietnam to America, from other countries. We've got, for example, where there have been war and fighting from Syria, the refugees going into other countries in Europe, for example. There's a big migration of families, and I'll look at that in a bit more detail in a moment. We've then got cultural, the growth of the global culture. Now, whether that's music, film, poetry, reading, Harry Potter, right? The translation of books and the internet as well, promoting international Netflix and all of that stuff. And then the globalization of products. So globalization is the globalization, but then localizing it. A bit like when I talked about the X Factor or Britain's Got Talent and these talent shows that are localized in some countries, but very much changed to promote local culture. So you've got the globalization of products as well. And then you've got political. Of course, you've got the global governance, right? We talked about global governance, about the things like the WHO, right? The World Health Organization that globally tries to oversee or guide the development of international vaccines, for example. And then global action on climate change, where we've got huge interventions and activities there. Yeah, okay, good. So those are some ideas, effects of globalization, right? Quite interesting. So globalization, is, let me just bring it in. I think you're going to get it. Globalization is the combination of globalization. And this is an interesting thing to talk about, right? Globalization. It has become a word. If you get global and local together, can you see that? How they're put together? So it's taking a global idea, but localizing it. United Nations, yes. The corona vaccine, yes, absolutely. There's a lot you can say there about the international coordination, I guess you can call it. Now, I know we say the WHO. I know in many languages you will change the order of the letters, right? Because you'll have translated it. But in English, it's World Health Organization, WHO, UN, United Nations, WTO, World Trade Organization. And all of these are due to globalization. Yeah. Lumpy adventurer. Then we're fricked, aren't we? We may be. Right. The World Bank. Yeah, very, very good in assisting countries during disasters. Let's share that one down here. Because the World Bank is another one. The World Bank, it's interesting you're doing that because I'm also doing that. They play an interesting role sometimes in world activities. Okay. And here's another one from Duke, a nice one about globalization here has changed the way we learn. Schools are making use of the internet to send classwork to school pupils and students as a whole. Absolutely. So it has a huge effect on that. Yeah, we've got a few others you can talk about here. A few of you have mentioned UNICEF, which is a part of the United Nations, and it's about the children, right? To help support children around the world to make sure children's rights are not abused. And the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. There's a lot of debate about how effective these organizations are. I think they are essential and very, very important, but I do recognize their hands are tied, right? Sometimes their hands are tied, which means that they are limited in the power they have. A, because they're democratic, so you need a majority to agree, and B, because the domination of certain countries, it's a bit like a meeting, right? You have a meeting with 5 workers and 2 bosses. What's the outcome going to be? The outcome's going to be what the 2 bosses want, right? So that domination of certain countries has a big influence on the power these countries, these organizations can yield or wield, if you like. Anyway, stop being political, Keith. Stop being political. Now, IELTS, interesting, Shiny Michael. IELTS also is a bit of globalization to do with education, immigration. Absolutely, yeah, brilliant. So let's move on to another question. How has globalization affected your city? How has globalization affected your city? Do you know what? I've realized I can't make comments. Why can't I make comments? Can I not make a comment? No, I can't. I can't make comments. That's the downside of this software. I can't make a comment. How strange. Oh, never mind. So there's the question. How has globalization affected your city? Let's see what you've got to say. Some great ideas here, guys. Really good. Wow, every acronym under the sun is here. Here's a nice one. Let's start off with this. Globalization has affected our shopping habits. People opt for, very nice, like it. Choose, opt for, brilliant. Make a note, guys. People opt for globalized products instead of supporting local manufacturing. Fantastic. Love it. Yep. HDI, good point. Oh, Laura, here's an interesting one. Traditions are not always good to keep. There's a lot we could discuss there, isn't there? Yes. Oh, this is interesting. Olga has a nice point to make. A bit not mainstream, but very, very good. Adoption of children from different countries, particularly developing one. So that can affect us, right? Online shopping. Yeah, but how has it affected your city, right? Think about your city. Okay, we've got Sasireka, environmental pollution. Yeah, wow. Do you remember I used to live in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur? And in Kuala Lumpur, we got so much pollution. And a part of it was due to the burning of the forests, not only in Malaysia, but also in Indonesia. Sorry, guys, Indonesia. But the burning there would bring the pollution. It was global pollution that we got from other countries. So environmental pollution, absolutely, yes. Right. And here's, okay, Yes, lots of tourists in Budapest all year round. So the impact on the tourist trade, absolutely brilliant. If you want to add to environmental pollution, you can add the greenhouse gases. Nice, yes. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Jayanta. Hey, nice to see you here, Jayanta. Brilliant. Due to globalization, now my city has many foreign companies setting up their factories and head offices. Lovely. Also, we find products from any part of the world now in the shops. Very good point. Earlier, or previously, I would say previously, we used to get most local products. Excuse me. I shouldn't be burping when I'm teaching, right? But you can't help it. It's nature. It's like the time that the Queen farted and everybody said, oh, the Queen doesn't fart. It's impossible. Hey, she does sometimes. Love the Queen. Great. Earlier or previously, we used to get mostly local products in these shops. Now we also have more of McDonald's and KFC in my city. Yep, absolutely nice. Very, very nice. Now, that can lead to more job opportunities, but also, as Sonia says, it can lead to a scarcity of job opportunities. If we're outsourcing jobs, then that's going to impact the economy. That's what Donald Trump said, right? He said, we've been outsourcing our jobs for too many years. Actually, he was really, really sneaky and nasty because he said, oh, all these foreign countries have stolen our jobs. Maybe you outsource the jobs, right? Actually. So there can be a scarcity of job opportunities, right? I've got to stop talking about politics. Sorry. Yeah, Path, very good. Local companies are struggling with their existence. Shavinga, it's turned my city upside down. That's a lovely expression, right? It has turned my city upside down. It means it's changed my city completely, but normally for a negative reason. So that expression, it's turned everything upside down, normally negative. So it'd be interesting to see why in this case. Right, isn't this interesting, right? Apurva says almost the opposite. It's improved the lifestyle of people, increased job opportunities, and affordable education. Interesting, right? Do you also notice, I know I exaggerate, but I exaggerate to show you the stress, because it's so important getting the stress right. Especially when you're writing a lot, you're probably not speaking it out, but please do speak out these ideas, right? Increased job opportunities. And the reason I say increased with the stress on the increased is because you're contrasting it to what somebody said before about scarcity of job opportunities. You could say, well, actually, there are increased job opportunities. You don't have to do that. You could just say, there are increased job opportunities and also affordable education. Affordable, not cheap, not expensive, affordable education. To help your pronunciation when speaking, just exaggerate, right? Really exaggerate. Because when you speak normally, you're probably not making enough stress. Most students don't make enough the stress or the sound or the connection. So when you practice, just exaggerate, right? Enormous, affordable. And when you practice like that, when you actually speak normally, you'll be spot on. Right. Brilliant. So lots of ideas there. I'm just going to share a couple more with you over here. So we've talked about tourism. You can talk about an influx of tourists, right? When tourists come in to the country. So I'm talking about my city, which is Santander in Spain, right? We are governed by European law. Now we can eat international cuisine. So I was thinking about KFC and McDonald's, but I realized actually it's more than that. It's actually international cuisine. There are Italian restaurants, Thai restaurants, Vietnamese restaurants, Peruvian restaurants, because we have a close connection here with South America. There are thriving, that means bustling, energetic minority communities in my city as a result of migration, the diasporas. We've got the Chinese, the Vietnamese, the Peruvian, a lot of communities here. So these have affected my city. Okay, great. Now then, what do you think about the effect of globalization on business? So this is another question, and I realize I'm running out of time, but I'm going to go through this and just show you a few ideas, right? Because I think what's really interesting about globalization is that we talk about it in a lot of the other IELTS questions. And you may remember questions like music. How has the music industry changed? What has been the impact of globalization on the music industry? Or technology. How has technology impacted globalization? Or the film industry, right? Do you prefer local films or international films? How has globalization affected the film industry? So if you get questions about basically globalization on business, you can refer to the music industry or the music business, right? Just call it the music business. It's the same thing. You can talk about the food business. You can talk about the film business or the film industry. And so we've already talked about this, about food. We've talked in other lessons, we've talked about music. If you haven't seen the music video, I mean the lesson we did on music, go and have a look. I think we mentioned globalization a little bit. And you can talk about all of these and their impact on globalization, right? Now then, I'm going to also look at another question here, the advantages and disadvantages. Again, we've talked a lot about this around employment, outsourcing, unemployment. Just to sum up some ideas, right? We've got the convenience of eating foods or listening to music or getting news from around the world, right? Clear advantage. But then there's the negative impact, right, on the local food industry or the culture. We can talk about education, the ability to learn more about each other. Well, actually, this is not education, this is culture. Learn more about each other and so promote peace. I am a big believer, and I always have been. The more you understand somebody, the less likely you are going to fight with them. So the more you understand, the more that cultures understand each other, the more peace there's going to be. And all of this we can do also through online platforms, right? I mean, look at us today. Great. So those are just a few ideas. There's also, of course, ecological impacts. Yes, and earlier a few of you have mentioned that, the ecological impact. Absolutely. Okay, vocabulary, we've talked about a few of those. You can see I'm rushing through, right? I'm rushing through because I don't want to keep you too long here. Brilliant, good. Let me just come back once more. Right. And I'm just going to have a final look at some of your ideas up here. Right, Eternal Flame. Nice name, nice idea. Have a look at this one. There's some interesting ones. Right. Yeah. So one thing I would add, thank you, Eternal Flame. That's great. There are many international chain shops and restaurants in our high cities, right? And you've also got Ling here saying globalization provides a selection of cultural values. These are great ideas. Always remember to add and develop your examples. right? And I know you're not doing it here because you're typing quickly, but when you're speaking, always remember to go into the examples, because it's the examples that really bring out the language, right? Look at here, Victoria says, last year there was an amazing environmental project where tulips from all over the world were planted so that one has ameliorated our city. So giving an example just brings out a huge amount of extra language. So great, remember your examples. Thanks very much, Victoria. That's great. So we've got lots of examples coming out here. Oh yeah, I will try and check your phrases, all of you. This is interesting, right? A nice one. Yep, Neelish. Globalization has done a 360-degree turn. Great, right? So that's a complete change. That can be positive, right? Do you remember we said it's turned it upside down is negative, but it's done a 360-degree return. It's done a 360-degree turnaround is positive in the healthcare industry. Now, affordable health services are available across the globe. Exactly. Great. Are available across the globe. Hey, look at that. I can correct. Great. But remember, well, actually, I know these are not mistakes. I know for most of you, you're just typing so fast. It's not a mistake. But remember, mistakes are a gift. They are excellent. They are really good for you. Right. Okay. Good. Now then. Yes. That's great. Yeah. Adler, 360 is the same as 0. You mean 180 degrees. Yes, you're absolutely right. 180-degree turnaround. Laugh out loud. Although you can say it's a 360-degree turnaround. It means a complete. So it's not half a change. It's a complete change. I think you can say both, actually. But I like the comments. Now, guys, I'm going to finish up doing a little experiment with you because I wanted to try another piece of software to see if it works with you. So I don't know if this works, but it's just a little bit of fun. And I want you to try and play this with me. So this is a thing called Kahoot. Does anybody know Kahoot? So it's a simple game. I'm not sure how many people can play. But what I'm going to do, I'll show you, I'll explain to you. We're going to play this game, and all you have to do is on your device, go into, good question. Go into your mobile phone, follow the URL I give you, and then put in a number. By the way, Saskira, the Z is the American spelling, the S is the British spelling. So clearly the British spelling is the best. Right, Kahoot. Let's do a quick Kahoot. And let's see how this works. If it works well, we'll do some more. So I'm going to share. Let me share this with you. Oh, I love this software. It's great. Okay, so this is how it works. Classic. So what you need to do, guys, is to shut up. We get this crazy music. Is to go to www.kahoot.it, right, on your phone or on your computer, and put in this number. It says game pick. Just put in this number. Right? I can't share the link, but guys, it's www. Up here, you can see kahoot.it. That's it. Just type in that. Computer, you can do it. Or on your phone, you can do it. So what happens? Oh, there you go. Somebody's in. Snowy, aquatic, majestic. Right, so you've started to join. Brilliant. We can't see the code. Oh, sorry. That's the code. 253579. 253579. Oh, I'm not sure how many people can join, but we've got a few. Captain Panther. Amusing dragon. You're all animals. I guess it asks you for an animal. 253579. I think the maximum is 50, so we'll have to take in the first 50 people, I think. Varun, I can't make comments. It's been disabled, and I don't know why. You'll just have to type it out, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's 253579. Radiant Jaguar, Bright Panda. Right. Oh, it takes a lot of people. That's good. Maybe it's 100. Right, I'm going to start the game. And all you have to do, you'll see, is choose. You've got 4 choices. Yeah, thank you, Lumbly Adventurer. You've got 4 choices. They're each a different colour. And you choose the one that's the right answer. Okay. So, start. I'm going to take this off. Wait a minute. Bum, 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 bum. You're still joining. Brilliant. Okay, so you guys, you should be able to see on your screen, what is your teacher's name? In case you can't see. Okay. So there you go. What is your teacher's name? And you've got a time. The thing is, you've got a time limit, so you need to get your answer in. Look, the time's running out. 8, 7, 6. Come on, guys, get your answers in. 69 people got it right. Right, all of you who press blue, green or yellow, go out of the classroom. Of course, it's Keith. Right, cool, well done, it works. And those of you on the thingy, on the comments, yeah, you've got it right. Next question, are you ready? Next question. Get ready, steady, go. Oh, we've got a scoreboard. Knowing buffalo. Knowing buffalo. Next question. Keith lives in. Now, if you're paying attention, right, you should get this. You've got to be fast. You've only got 20 seconds. Come on. Got no answers. Seriously? 31 of you got Santander. Some of you in the box got Spain. So Santander, Spain is absolutely right. That was a bit more difficult, but I actually gave you the answer in today's lesson. Pay attention. Right, we've got one more. We've got 2 more. Here's the next one. Let's see. I guess we've got the leaderboard. Jolly Bat. Jolly Bat, well done. Up 85 places. Cute Hamster is the highest climber. Oh, here we go. What is today's topic? Come on, guys. 20 seconds. And if you get this wrong, you're never allowed back in. Right, those who pressed red. Oh, I can see because we've talked about health. That's why you pressed red. That's true. But those of you who pressed toys, come on, seriously, have we talked about toys or strawberries? All right, last one, guys. Last question. Who's leading? Let's find out. Captain Panther. Nice one. Last question. Which fun fact is true about your teacher? Okay, you've got 30 seconds here. I love the music. Suspense. It's a funny game, right? Green. Right. The answer, I don't speak Japanese. I only know konnichiwa, arigato, is I play the violin. That's it. Yep. Skydiving, I haven't. I'm not very good with heights, actually. Siblings, I only have 2 siblings. I have an elder brother and an elder sister. So it's actually the violin. Well, 31 is good because you were right. Okay, brilliant. Let's see who's top of the table. Majestic Bat. Who are you, Majestic Bat? Glowing koala. Here's number 1. I love it. Power amp. Shiny. I play the guitar and the violin, actually. Yeah, it's nice. It's not IELTS. That's true. Majestic Bat, well done. Lumbee Adventurer, well done. Well done as well. It's not me. I haven't tried skydiving. Seriously, I haven't. I've done bungee jumping, but not skydiving. Right. Congratulations. Well done. So, do you like the game? I thought that was a bit of fun. I wanted to see if it would actually work. Go away, come back. Yeah, I just wanted to see if it would work. It does work. I thought it might be a nice change from always doing IELTS, just to have a bit of fun as well. And if it works, we can do that next time. Actually, we can use it for your English as well, like multiple choice questions. Like you've got enough of those in IELTS already. Okay, nice. Well done, everybody. Now you know me a little bit better. My name's Keith. I live in Santander, Spain. I am from Manchester in the UK, but I live in Santander, Spain. I've got 1 brother, 1 sister, and I play the violin and the guitar as well. Okay, lovely. Good. Thank you for contributing and coming in. We're going to finish. It's very, very late. I apologize for keeping you. So do remember, if you want to download the notes from today, go to my website, IELTS Speaking Success. Just look for the live sessions. I will just show you where it is, just to make sure you can find it. So if you go to the website, IELTSSpeakingSuccess.com, and just go to live lessons down here. And here you can get it. You can join on Facebook or YouTube, but the actual materials. Oh, by the way, if you want to make a donation, this is just to help me. It is so useful because it takes quite a bit of time to do all the YouTube videos and the live sessions, and that just helps me dedicate time to it. But here they are. You can get the notes. Just press the download. They're all free. You can get all of them, actually. And you can watch the video. If you've missed the one about movies, you can just go in here and watch the video about movies.
Hey, hello.
Oh, hello.
It's a bit loud.
Stop. And get all the notes there. So, guys, that's it. Thank you very much again for joining me today. Thursday, then, I'm going to try and have a session where we look more closely at some of the new questions and new topics. So look forward to that. If you've asked any questions, I will try and answer them through videos on Facebook or at the start of the next class, and so on. That's it. To your health and happiness until Thursday. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.